Good evening, everyone. First of all, welcome, and let's begin our pure presentation evening, our business opportunity. It's been a while since we've had these evenings. I'm happy to be the one tonight to tell you a little bit about our world. So I won't waste any more time. Just a few seconds, maybe for anyone who's running late and still joining our live event. But enough chit chat. Let's get started. First of all, a big welcome. Joe, thank you for being here with us this evening. And what will we be seeing? First of all, we'll look at the career opportunities within our project, the sectors in which our business project operates, and above all, how much you can earn, which is certainly not a trivial matter, quite the opposite. So let's start with a premise. Why? Because often, maybe, you've already been invited to other presentations where everything is presented as so easy, effortless, but remember that easy money, unfortunately, isn't real. I often find that there's something off about it. So you won't find easy money here. If that's what you're looking for, unfortunately, we can't help or support you. But if instead you're looking for a serious approach, a method that can actually be real, effective, and powerful, then you're in the right place. Stay until the end, don't get distracted. And after this presentation is over, you can call or contact the person who invited you tonight and ask them all your questions, every single one, from the first to the last. In the meantime, who am I, the person speaking to you tonight? I am Giovanna Scola, a woman, a mother who is now 40 years old. I finally entered this new age group that I so longed for. And I'm the mother of two children, Thomas, who is actually 11 years old, and Asia, who is 7. No, 8? Well, never mind. I've been a professional networker since 2015. I have truly loved network marketing because it has always allowed me to be present. It gave me complete freedom and control over my time, something no other job had ever given me before. And it was one of the most fulfilling feelings and one of the things that made me happiest. And I am a black diamond with the company Snap, which I will talk to you about and introduce to you this evening. But who was I? In 2015, I was definitely a woman before motherhood, with many dreams to fulfill, right? Like each of us, I had that drawer full of dreams that we're often afraid to open. Often, well, the opportunities aren't there. Often there isn't time. And often there's always something that keeps the perfect conditions from ever arriving. And I was kind of that type of woman, that kind of girl. And at a certain point in 2014, motherhood was a wonderful experience. And Thomas, January 31st, 2014, he was born and also gifted me with 20 extra kilos. So I really found myself, as I always say, in a real nightmare because I couldn't recognize myself physically anymore. I didn't see myself. I felt completely different, and I really was completely different. With 20 extra kilos, it's much harder, both physically and emotionally. And on top of that, my work situation had also changed. If before I had so many dreams, so many projects, I worked for several years as a legal assistant in a law firm. I had opened together with my sister what was a family business, a beauty center. I worked as an insurance broker, so also entrepreneurial jobs, right? With a VAT number, the VAT number didn't scare me, but I was on that hamster wheel where I was basically running day and night just to pay the F-24 tax form. Let's put it that way, right? And so I decided, so with Thomas's arrival, ikagada, to take what would be uh, my maternity leave, even though I wasn't paid, because when you're a self-employed mom, let's not even go there. So it's fine. I'll tighten my belt. That was the reasoning I had. And then I'll find something. And then I'll find something. Yes, I was very optimistic. That never happened in the sense that after every interview, it was always, we'll let you know. They were questions that a woman should never, and I repeat, never have to hear. If your child gets sick, Will you still pay for daycare to come to work? And so returning to work turned out to be something completely different from what I had actually imagined, from what I had planned. But then the network came along. The network sort of came in through the back door because I discovered it when I needed to lose the pregnancy weight. So I started out as a customer trying the product, and I got great results, eBay, which allowed me to talk about it enthusiastically to the people close to me, to those around me, and then to share all my results a lot online as well. This eventually turned into a real job and a career. And why do I recommend that each and every one of you start a network business? First of all, we live in a time when people can no longer make ends meet. I hear this all the time. My salary comes in through the door and goes right out the window. I haven't even seen it, not even this month. If something unexpected happens in a family, very often there's the difficulty of having to pay in installments, of not being able to cover that setback, even if it's something as simple as my dishwasher broke. Everything is going up except your salaries, and so the need to diversify, or in any case, to create an extra source of income, is more real and pressing than ever these days. Then, do we want to talk a bit about what's happening all around us? Artificial intelligence is threatening our jobs. This is because, and this is just my humble opinion, too often, artificial intelligence, I read an article, it talked about artificial intelligence and human stupidity. Often people delegate too much to robots and automation without having any control over them. In network marketing, you can take advantage of artificial intelligence without your work as a networker being threatened, because you can learn to manage and use these tools precisely to your advantage. Moreover, Chari, during the month of Mother's Day, how could we not talk about mothers and work? The children of working mothers, these are real statistics. 2022, the employment gap between men and women, 17.5%. Things change even more when we have young children. In the 25 to 54 age group, if there is a minor child, the employment rate for mothers stops at 63%, compared to 90.4% for fathers. These are worrying figures. I don't want to be alarmist, but I do want you to reflect on how these issues, which I have personally experienced, are still very real today, despite the years that have passed, the struggles that have taken place, and the ongoing discussions about feminism, violence against women, and equal opportunities. These topics remain so pressing, and now I want to show you a short video clip from 1959 where they talk about working women, because even back then, one salary, wasn't enough. So having two was what gave you peace of mind, but it forced women to live through what for generations now we have been experiencing. So let me check that I'm sharing the computer audio. So yes, I have it set up so you can hear it in high fidelity. Okay? Let's start the video.
How old are you?
45.
How long have you been working at this company?
For 12 years.
Then what did you do before?
Well, before I worked at a paper mill.
And before that?
At the hospital, I was a nurse.
Tell me, why have you worked all these years? I'm the daughter of workers, so I've always had to work. I got married during the war.
My husband died after 10 days, and I had to start working again.
Of course, if I found a husband, I would stay at home again.
Are you married, ma'am?
I'm a widow. I have 7 children. 7 children?
Yes, 3 of whom are married and have children, so I'm a grandmother 6 times over.
A grandmother 6 times? Congratulations. If you could, would you stay at home? Yes, gladly. Because a mother really needs to stay at home to look after her children and give them a proper upbringing. And the household would run better. How many people are there in your family?
3, meaning?
Me, my husband, and our little girl. Is this your little girl?
Yes.
Do you bring her with you every day?
Yes, every morning.
And tell me, why do you work?
To help the family, because you can't get by on just one salary.
What does your husband do?
This is 1959, an interview with working women. After more than 60 years of British, how many mothers still find themselves in the same situation, wanting to have more time to spend with their children, but being forced to leave at 8 in the morning and not return until 8 at night, having to entrust their children's upbringing to a babysitter whom you still have to pay and overpay, or to an expensive daycare. Why is that? Because you are obliged and you need to go out to work because a second income is necessary. It was already like that back then, and today even more so, unfortunately. All this, 1 in 5 mothers quits her job after the first child, and so you start making cuts to your personal life, cuts to family outings, cuts to things like going to a restaurant, cuts to, I don't know, so many little things, buying that pair of shoes, cutting out trips to the beautician or the hairdresser. These aren't necessary expenses and they get cut because a mother then has to choose between family and career. 71.8% of parents born from work are mothers. All this information can easily be found online. This, resignations from 44,000 mothers. In 63% of cases, conciliation is difficult. These are all facts that we see every day, that so many of us experience daily or have experienced daily. So now let's get started. Let's dive right into our presentation quickly and take a look at why starting a network marketing business today makes sense. So we've already discussed the historical period and the need to have an extra source of income. But above all, let's talk about what this activity can actually offer you. It allows you to create an additional income and combine it with what you already do on a regular basis without having to dedicate an enormous amount of hours to it. What I really like is the freedom of time that this activity gives you. It helps you build security for the future and to have a necessary source of income. But above all, it's an entrepreneurial activity. Listen to me, because this really caught my attention. A business at zero cost. Being an entrepreneur in Italy today is madness, more often than not. Here, you can become an entrepreneur at zero cost, with zero investment. And we're all experiencing changes. But above all, it's important to understand that we should work to live, not live to work, and become slaves to the system. Network marketing allows you to start with yourself, to regain your freedom, your self-esteem, your future, and also the future of your children. We are part of a unique project of sharing and support. I really love to emphasize this point. It allows you to build your skills from scratch. When I started back in 2015, I had no experience in the field, no digital skills, no knowledge of network marketing, okay? It was my first experience. I didn't know what this job was or how to do it. And yet we managed to build and find a method that not only brought Giovanna Scola to the top of the company, but also many other collaborators in Alum over the years. And that's the best part, this system, which I like to call win to win. If you win, I win too. Something only network marketing can offer, no other business can. In what sense? So now let's take a look at the advantages. Time, I've already mentioned it to you so many times, I think. You have complete control over your own time. You can decide how many hours to dedicate to yourself and above all, which hours to devote to this activity. Zero investment. You will be assigned and activated with a simple registration, a personalized e-commerce, an online store, completely free of charge. So, you are active right from the start. Training and support, both from the company and above all, from the team. We are a team in this community, Cambio Vita, this Facebook group. And by the way, a big hello to all of you who are following us from the Facebook group. We're not amateurs. We're people who have been out here in the field since 2004. 15. The company we work with, Snap, was founded in 2014. So we actually saw it being born, growing, starting to walk, to run, And we're still out here helping the people who put their trust in us to grow. So, does that seem like a small thing to you? To me, that's a big deal. But what do we actually do? Us, and how does it work? Actually, I always say, just do what you do every day. No talk about what you like. So, I told you, I started by sharing my own weight loss journey with people, or rather, people actually noticed my transformation on their own, and it turned into automatic word of mouth. But when you're happy about something, talking about it comes naturally to you, online, offline, wherever you want. You just have to talk about it. I mean, it's written all over your face. So by realizing your own transformation story and sharing it, you'll be able, through marketing strategies that we'll look at now and that you'll learn, to build both a loyal customer base and a team of collaborators who will start working with you. So what do? We don't sell, we don't try to convince people, and we don't become stalkers. So if you've ever had that cousin or that friend who bombarded you with 15,000 messages every month, at the end of every month, trying to sell you at any cost the miraculous business that was supposed to change her life, and in the end, nothing actually changed, well, that's exactly how you should not do network marketing. What we actually do, let me repeat, is simply share information and real testimonials from people who want to achieve. That is the benefits obtained, both physically, work, and financially. That's it. This is the simplest job in the world. And why did we choose Snap specifically? As I already told you, Snap has been in business, on the market, for 11 years, since 2014. So what does it offer us? A variety of products for all ages. We have as many as 10 sectors. Free training. The company provides us with national events across the country, and also an upschool area directly within our back office, in our office, in our virtual store, a training area where you can find the main training sessions affiliated with Avedisco. I like to describe it as the union for network marketers and door-to-door salespeople. So we have this kind of protection, fast deliveries, 48 working hours. You place and order, and the courier delivers it to the customer's home or to your home if the order is for you. The customer can choose from 5 payment methods, and this is extremely important. Made in Italy. I'm extremely proud of this. Supplements registered with the Italian Ministry of Health. You can start for free, just a simple registration, and you're active. And then we have all those bonuses, geolocation, increasing volume points, agreements you can take advantage of with local businesses, and then your the obligation of no auto shipping. Wait, let me rephrase that for you. There is no obligation for self-consumption, which is something that's often implied elsewhere, meaning you're required to buy a certain amount of product for yourself every month. Here, each collaborator's personal purchase is entirely up to them. So, is that clear? Multi-brand strategy? What does that mean? It means I can choose which of the 10 sectors available I want to specialize in, to focus on. I've worked a lot on weight loss because of my own story on whatever it is. My Achilles' heel, my real strong point was actually detox, which was the kit that helped me lose weight and become a satisfied customer. That enthusiasm allowed me to go on and become a successful independent Snap representative. Compensation plan. It allows you to earn up to the 8th level of depth. Bonuses that you can earn from the very first month. Quality products and sector diversification. How do we work? Online, Sarinoptia, we use social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, with a well-established strategy called attraction marketing, where we generate interested leads who ask us for information so we don't always have to act like stalkers. 2 main focuses: the satisfied customer and the collaborator who starts working with us. This is what we need to do. Talk about the business and talk about the product. How do we work? Also offline. It's not true that offline is dead. Anyone who tells you that actually doesn't realize they're cutting out a huge chunk of revenue. How? With events, trade shows, beauty parties, Gamo parties. but also with the partnerships I mentioned earlier. And as for where to start, we've found an answer to this step as well with our Start Academy. We have created a Telegram Academy where you can find all the answers to your questions, especially the main focus areas, the key courses that you absolutely need to start watching and studying as soon as you begin this activity. Now, let's move on to the last step. How do I earn money? We've said that activation is free. I register using the link sent to me by my sponsor, my collaborator. Once I have registered, I am fully active and I get a personal discount of 25% on my personal purchases based on volume points. And I also earn a direct commission of 25% on my sales, again, based on volume points. So this means that with a free registration, I start earning 25% from every sale I make, always calculated on the volume points of each product. Obviously, this is just the beginning of a great love story, just like it was for us, eh? Because that 25% can actually double. How does it double? And above all, what are the advantages of being a supervisor? As a supervisor, okay, just like a distributor, I always have a personal discount and a direct profit on my sales, which doubles to 50%. So we're talking about a 50% discount or profits on the volume points from my sales to my clients on Trio. But in addition, when I start talking to Patrizia about the business opportunity, Patrizia signs up and starts talking and generating sales. As long as she remains a regular distributor, the company pays me a business differential, which is already an indirect profit of 25%. That's the difference between my 50 and her 25, which is fantastic. For me, it was like my dream lit up. And how much can you earn? Obviously, this is just the beginning, because once I start creating supervisors, the whole royalty system comes into play as well. So in terms of depth, as I mentioned earlier, up to the 8th level, but this is definitely just an initial presentation where I prefer to give space to stories like Federica's. I am a single mother, 49 years old, and I have always tried to face my difficulties on my own without burdening those around me. When there were times that my single salary was no longer enough to get me comfortably through the end of the month, having to pay a mortgage, expenses, daily necessities, and not even being able to afford a vacation, I tried to find an alternative solution, a plan B that could help me see a way out. And I happened to come across a post with a lot of disbelief, uncertainty, and hesitation that I decided to seize the opportunity. We all felt that disbelief. I pushed myself to try, stepping out of my comfort zone, and it opened up. It led me to discover a wonderful activity, an incredible opportunity. I am grateful to Snap and the whole team for all of this. In September, Federica took home a check for 731 euros. Obviously, this is Federica's result based on her commitment, the time she dedicated, her consistency, and the energy she put into building her business, her activity. But could it be more? Just as it could be less. Let's take a look at Valentina's story. Valentina tells us, and only then did I realize that I had to do something because my scale had reached 105 kilos. And it's only when you hit rock bottom that you understand the importance of your life. This is a story that reminds me a lot of my own. 8 months ago, on December 11th to be exact, something clicked inside me. I took my life back into my own hands. I started my own personal journey, and I was also following a diet supervised by a nutritionist. After a month on this path, I was scrolling through TikTok, and by chance, I kept seeing people talk about Snap products. I got curious about it, and on that occasion, thanks to my sponsor, a wonderful woman who has always been by my side, then I got to know more. I lost all that weight, all of it paid for entirely by my company, Snap. She also qualified for what was a very important company event. This is what can happen to those who truly believe in this work, to those who start building this business. Now, all I can do is hope to have you on the team, to see you inside our Start Academy, to be able to welcome you to Start Academy. I'm waiting for you, And if you have any questions, please make sure to contact the person who invited you tonight and ask them everything you want to know. See you soon, and a big kiss.